now surfaced is intriguing that that when this new campaign starts, then somehow now we know that they discharged me from this case. So I think they I think they must have their own reasons for dropping the case without informing us, without informing our lawyers. I don't really know whether even the court was really informed, or whether it was informed secretly. I don't know what happened. But that now it is surfacing is a matter of interest. Whether it is to remind me that they will put new treason charges, I don't know. Whether it is to suggest, because I saw, you know, there is a lot of I think propaganda aimed at confusing the population and also dividing the oppressed people. The main strategy of the regime has been to divide the oppressed people and cause conflict amongst the captives. That is the strategy of the regime. And all oppressed, all captive people of Uganda must be conscious of this, that one of the main ways they keep us in captivity is to divide us and pit us against each other. And then they just sit there and laugh. So I saw some NRM, one of the, I think, loudspeakers of NRM. Because this NRM thing is, you know, quite many people misunderstand it. The real NRM are a handful of people. Then they recruit some small beneficiaries whom they use to propagate their interests in all kinds of ways. Some even in the media, they rent people to use. So some of the people you see speaking on their behalf, they are not really NRM, they are just NRM loudspeakers, hired to do the leading of the real mafia behind there. So I saw one saying that this front, they are going to use it to weaken NUP. I saw one on TV saying, oh, this front is welcome. It will help us to weaken NUP. His intention, and certainly the intention of his employers, is to depict this front as a front intended or supposed to in any way have a conflict with NUP. Because if they get a conflict between the front and NUP, and we are busy, as is even now, many of the people in the social media whom you see attacking the front, even some will start hiding behind the front and attack the other ones viciously. They are all the same people from the junta. They just hide them to create an artificial conflict, which if they have a civil war amongst the oppressed, then they just go laughing all the way to the bank to enjoy their money, you know? So we must be very, very conscious. So the timing of ending that, of publishing that the case ended, I think may have some of those intentions to show that indeed maybe they are helping us. Now they have removed cases against me so that we help them or whatever. I don't know. But your other question was, shall we take them to court? You know, yes, they need to be pursued because of the harm they do, you know. Now it's a long time. People have forgotten how I was arrested from downtown here on May 10th, I think 11th. You know, it was like there was a war, you know, with armored vehicles, and hundreds of soldiers. And they took me straight to Narufenya. And in Narufenya, I was there for a few hours. Then they pulled me out and flew me to Karamoja, to Moroto. And I was alone, of course, without anything to help me, nothing. They took me to Moroto. I had terrifying time in the police cells that night, which police cells people came into at night. Eventually I was charged with treason in Moroto and remanded there. Only later on, when the lawyers started making noise about the jurisdiction, because Moroto had no jurisdiction to charge me in Moroto, when they were saying I had committed an offense here. So eventually they transferred me back to Ruzira and charged me afresh. So this charge is the second time they are ending the treason charge. They first ended the treason charge in Moroto and instituted new ones in Ruzira, in Nakawa here, when they transferred me to Ruzira. I stayed in Ruzira for some months until I got bail. They kept on now taking me, investigations are going on until I said, I will not come back to your court again over this matter. I came to a point and said, I won't come back. If you want me, arrest me and charge and try me. And I was in court also to say it is true that I declared myself a winner, because that was the charge over which they were saying I had committed treason, that I had been sworn in as a president. I should have been sworn in as a president indeed, because I won up to date. I emphasize I won that election. I have evidence that I won the election, and I wanted that case of treason to go to trial so that I show them the evidence. When they learned that actually we were serious about using the court to give evidence that they should not be in the State House, they kept quiet about the case, in spite of my telling them I won't come back on your remand notes. You rearrest me if you like. They never rearrested me. They never tried me. Even the case was never committed to the High Court for trial. Now, only to learn this morning that actually they withdrew it in 2019. So, this is really the reason, even now, Mr. Museveni is anxious to have change of bail condition, to abolish bail. Because if he had not, if what he wants had been in place, I would possibly be still in jail without trial, and for the many cases, Because this was not the first time I got a case on the capital offense. In fact, when I got the first bail on the capital offense, we had to get a constitutional court ruling, which constitutional court ruling now even the NRM people use to access bail, you know. So I really would want to get justice by taking these people to court. But you see, if I pursued those, I would be diverted. Because I don't know how many times they have injured me like that. Arrest me, torture me. In the hundreds of cases that they have charged me with, not once have I ever had to defend myself in court. Not once. All cases are dismissed without my filing defense. All of them. Whether rape, whether terrorism, whether treason, whether illegal possession of guns, whether what, you know, I have never tendered a defense to court on any charge. So it is clearly political persecution. Now, if I spent money now to get lawyers to follow up these cases, which will take 10 years, 15 years to even get a hearing, I will just be diverted. So all I do once I get all these documents, I file them. When there are better times, I can seek justice if it's necessary. But when we are at war, you know, and some people don't realize that this is war. We are at war, except that we are not holding guns. But those we are fighting are holding guns and killing people. Now at war, there are some niceties you don't follow. Even when some of your colleagues die, you may not have to bury them. Others may bury as you go on. When the battle ends, you may come and condole the families. So that's the situation in which we are.
Yes. Yes, madam.